a lot of venture firms in Silicon Valley. The game that they played was they would get a team, they would create a token, they would also buy equity at some crazy valuation. The equity was locked up, but the tokens were not. And then they would put them on an exchange and sell them to unsuspecting people, and they would be able to dump these tokens. That token, guys, let's be honest, is not the only token that has been engineered by Silicon Valley venture firms. And it is also not the only token that's gone to zero that was engineered by Silicon Valley venture firms. There's videos today on some of the most well-known venture firm sites on how to do this.
I'm sure that all of you guys who are either keyed into the crypto ecosystem or have invested in some kind of crypto assets must have already heard that FTX, the second largest crypto exchange in the world, has collapsed. It has declared bankruptcy, and its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, is now being investigated for fraud. Now, while this might seem like doomsday for crypto, a lot of you might be surprised to know that this had less to do with crypto and more to do with basic human psychology. How one person wanted to take out its competitor and got shut down in the process. We are here to understand what happened, why it happened, and more importantly, why it might actually be a good thing for the crypto space. This is the Builders Club Deep Dive. Before we get into the specifics, let's try and understand the three entities which are a part of the story: Binance, FTX, and Alameda Research. Binance is the biggest crypto exchange in the world. FTX was the crypto derivative exchange in which Binance had invested 3 years back and which now grew to become the second largest crypto exchange in the world. Alameda Research was the venture capital and trading affiliate of FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried, the co-founder of FTX, was also the co-founder of Alameda Research. FTX token, also known as FTT, was the exchange token of the FTX ecosystem, which could be used as collateral for future positions, getting discounts on trading fees, and other benefits on the FTX platform. Now let's get down to the timeline of events. On 2nd of November, a leaked report appeared on CoinDesk which talked about the balance sheet of Alameda Research. It showed that out of $14.6 billion of assets, it had $3.5 billion worth of FTT on its balance sheet. Now this was locked FTT. What this means was that they had been used as collaterals to take out loans on other crypto assets such as USDT and Ethereum. Now after this tweet, on 6th of November, CZ, the CEO of Binance, tweets about liquidating their entire dump of FTT as they did not want to hold on to their tokens anymore. Now just last year, Sam Bankman-Fried had bought back the shares which were held by Binance in FTX in exchange of FTT and USDT. The FTT, which was held by Binance, was worth $580 million at that point in time. Now, the reason cited by CZ for dumping the FTT was that they were not sure whether the way FTX was managing its funds was clear, and they did not want anything to do with it. Needless to say, given the fact that who was tweeting, this created mass panic in the ecosystem around FTT. Everyone who held any kind of FTT rushed to sell their tokens, and FTX did not have the liquidity to meet their withdrawals. On 8th of November in the morning, $1.5 billion worth of withdrawals were done. By afternoon, that number had risen to $6 billion. FTX was looking for liquidity and fast. In desperation, FTX went to all its existing investors, including others like Elon Musk, who refused to bail them out in this time. Now, interestingly, the person who actually came forward to help FTX was CZ, the same person who had tweeted one day before that he wanted to dump all the FTT that he held. CZ, through his company Binance, said they wanted to acquire FTX so that they could protect the users, signing a non-binding LOI to acquire FTX. On 9th of November, Binance comes back saying that they cannot take over FTX as the situation is beyond control. On 11th of November, FTX and 130 of its subsidiaries declared bankruptcy, leading to a debt of around $50 billion. On the same day, there were reports of hackers draining around $1 billion of assets from the FTX website and siphoning off that money to buy Ethereum. And right now, that hacker account has become the 35th largest holder of Ethereum in the world. A cryptic tweet appears from Sam Bankman-Fried's account which says, "Well played." Now all of this begs the question, what happened? Well, the story has less to do with crypto and more to do with two people, Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ. It all started 3 years ago. A young graduate from MIT who, along with 10 of his friends, started a derivative exchange called FTX from the Bahamas. The company quickly grew in valuation from $0 to $32 billion in less than 3 years. Binance, one of the biggest exchanges in the world, also had invested in FTX, and soon after that investment, they also opened up their own derivative exchange, making them direct competitors. Now, as FTX grew, so did Sam Bankman-Fried's aspirations. Last year, FTX bought back its shares from Binance in exchange of FTT and USDT, which later on came to bite them back in their ass. Now, as the valuation of FTX grew, so did Sam Bankman-Fried's credibility and his aspirations. You see, Sam Bankman-Fried wanted to be the biggest name in the crypto ecosystem. When the crypto winter set in, FTX helped all the struggling crypto companies via their venture arm, Alameda Research. Now, in terms of the public perception, Sam Bankman-Fried seemed as a savior, and this matched the image that he wanted the world to see. He was acquiring companies and taking bets using money of its customers and losing them big time. According to Reuters, assets worth around $10 billion were moved from FTX to Alameda, which he reportedly did by building a backdoor without flagging the transactions to anyone. He had also started lobbying with the governments for regulations in the market. Now, this again is a tactic that is used by a lot of companies so that they could get the regulators by their side. They would get regulations passed which suited FTX but not their competitors. It is reported that Sam Bankman-Fried had given $30 million to Democrats for their political campaigns, and his co-founder had given $23 million to the Republicans trying to play both sides. They were knee-deep in politics and wanted to mold the crypto regulations, which made sure that in case regulations came, things would go the FTX way. Soon, reports came to light that FTX was lobbying regulators against its competitor Binance and even funding anti-Binance articles in the mainstream media. This reached its highest when articles appeared in Reuters which were heavily critical of CZ, Binance, and even criticized his children. Though whether FTX was behind the articles is not confirmed, but one thing was clear: CZ was clearly pissed off. So when CZ got a chance to make sure that FTX, its one competitor who was trying to mess with them, was in trouble, he took it. That one tweet from CZ did what FTX's all those articles couldn't do. It completely uprooted its competitor. It made sure that the whole FTX ecosystem collapsed like a house of cards. In all probability, CZ already knew what was happening in FTX and the way the assets were being mismanaged. He was just waiting for the right time, and that time was now. When they actually signed the non-binding LOI, they got an opportunity to do the proper due diligence and give credence to the mismanagement of funds in the company and opened up a can of worms which basically destroyed FTX. Now, that does not take anything away from the fact that whatever SBF did was wrong. He basically gambled with the money which the consumers had given to him. But it is also true that the investors the politicians, and anybody who was involved, everybody willingly looked away so that everybody could make money. It's just that when the ego of one of the bigger players got stroked, the skeletons tumbled out of the closet. This also begs the question, just because somebody has raised a lot of money, does that mean that the company is really successful? So what changes? Well, there are two ways to look at it, the short term and the long term. In the short term, there will be chaos. There will be blood on the market floor. The numbers of all the altcoins and all the cryptocurrencies have got down. And this is going to go on for a while. It is actually a good time to pick up a few of the assets that you really believe that have a value in, because the rates are actually very, very low and you should actually buy when things are going down. In the long term, things might actually turn out to be good. The talk of regulating the crypto ecosystem was already going on, but this episode has really amplified the voice and accelerated the whole process. The adoption of blockchain will actually accelerate and make the whole technology mainstream. Instead of just being a trading commodity, the real life applications of blockchain might actually come into the picture. This will also make sure that only the tokens which have value will remain and the others which are just out there to make a quick buck will vanish. As for SBF, he is currently being extradited from Bahamas to the US for legal procedure. It is tough for retail investors to get their money back, but I think Sam Bankman-Fried will definitely be seeing a lot of court in the times to come. All because of one tweet. Hope you guys like the video. Please leave your comments about what you think about the episode, and in case you people also have been holding FTT, what are your plans now? If you like our content, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.